Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Ghost Prime, and we're going to take a look at Legacy Evolution Decepticon Bombshell in this video. And he's the third of the original trio of Insecticons, and I'm glad that he was released in this scale. We've been waiting for him. For some reason, he is always the last one to be released, but he is kind of cool. So we're going to go over a really quick look at him. I've already done a review on the Generation 1, so you can go ahead and check that video out if you want. And I also have videos on the other two Insecticons from the Legacy line. So, yeah, please sit back, relax, like, subscribe, and all that. Leave me a comment. And without any further ado, let's get to the review.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
This October 20th through the 22nd, TFcon Orlando at Doubletree by Hilton Hotel Orlando at SeaWorld with special guests Bob Budiansky, Victor Caroli, Dan Gilvison, Gary Chalk, Richard Newman, Alex Milne, David Sobloff, and Casey Kohler. Meet mediocre YouTubers Bert the Stormtrooper, Deluxe Baldwin, Diecast Norbs, Engineer Hoist, Fire Talks, Ghost Prime, Kato's Collection, Patriot Prime, Rodimus Primal, and Treebot. If you see them, make sure and say hi. You'll most likely find them at the bar. That's TFcon Orlando in October. Be there!
We now return to the Transformers.
And here's the lovely box it comes in. As you can see, it says Insecticon Bombshell. You see a nice picture of him in alt mode right there. Transformers Legacy Evolution. He has his stats by this little QR code. And the box art on the side with the Legacy poster. There's a close-up of his head. And him in robot mode right there. On the back, you can see in robot mode and in insect mode. And then the Evo Fusion, which isn't as bad in this one, actually, as the other ones. He has 13 steps. And he does have instructions there, but you really won't need them if you happen to have shrapnel. And opening up the game out of the box, you get these little accessories right here, which are these little tiny, like, guns, which are actually his legs. And these peg in a 5mm port right on the underside of his arm, like so, on either side, like that. Or as seen on the back of the box, you could have them with his little gun here. Very hollow little gun, and just plug those in on the side for the Evo Fusion gimmick, which honestly doesn't look so bad as a gun. It doesn't look like his gun, but it doesn't look so bad as a gun. Here he is with weapons in hand, and let's get close up on his head sculpt. His head is not painted for the most part. His little, like, I guess, mouth plate there is painted, and the eyes are painted, but that's about it. He does have this little yellow piece there painted. This is painted silver right here, which is a nice touch. I do appreciate that. Moving on down, I like the way they did this with the silver on the inside and the silver on the paint on the outside. I think it gives it a nice look. You got some yellow there. There's little legs here, which can move. Arms, legs. There he is from the back. A little hollowness there. Got some paint showing up, mainly for insect mode. But yeah, so interestingly enough, he is a partial. He's a huge partial. So he's got new shoulders, new torso, and new head. All the rest is from shrapnel. And I'll go ahead and bring shrapnel in here just so you can see this. They are the same. The legs, these arms from the bicep down, the waist, all of it is exactly the same, just different colors. So I think they did a pretty good job making him look unique with just that one part. I could understand why they did that. Them both being beetles and all, it makes sense. They're not too dissimilar looking, and it actually really works. But before we get all into, comparisons here, we're going to go ahead and just check out a little bit of articulation. So you got bicep swivel, elbow, shoulder all the way up to there, which is pretty good, pretty far. Just goes all the way around 360. His head is limited because this whole assembly rotates with it. So it does limit his movement somewhat. He has waist. He has leg right there on the out, hip, back, knee 90, thigh, and ankle. Oh, that's about it. Can't do anything with the wrists because they fold in, and that's about it. So, yeah, let's get to comparisons real quick. There he is with his original Generation 1 self. Here it is with the previous Bombshell, the Legend size that we got. So you can see how this could benefit for some chrome, but Insecticons really kind of need chrome. It really makes sense to have chrome on these guys. But transformation, super simple. We're going to take out his gun. We'll go ahead and leave these in here because they act as the feet in the insect mode, much like Shrapnel did. So first things first, we're just going to go ahead and close that. Now this has a little tiny little tab, and a little tiny little slot. And you just push that in there. Go ahead and put that out, up like that. Just kind of covers his head. Turn his waist all the way around. And then we're going to put in his fists. Like so. Go ahead and take his shoulders. Move that in, it snaps down. Move that in, it snaps down, revealing some nice yellow paint there. Take on the legs here, take the flaps, open them, point the toes. Oh, this joint's really tough on this one. And maybe move the arms out of the way a little bit. So go ahead and take this whole piece assembly, move it forward, up, and over around like that. And there's like little section here, tabs in right in there. So you can't move the waist anymore. So you can see a slot and a tab on there. And you got to do it with this one too. Oh, that's closed. Move that in. Go ahead and tab the legs together. And then these pieces stay open. And you take the arms and make sure they're like this. So these, like I said earlier, these are going to be the feet. And this is the kind of a weird part, right? So there is a tab in there, and then there's a slot right there. So you tab it in here first, and then like that. So you tab this little piece in here, and I anchor that there, and then like that, and that holds. And well, that's him. That's him in bug mode. A couple things that I'm not super fond of. Well, I guess one thing I'm not really fond of is the sides of the head. On the original toy, you have this completely covered by the purple of the body. Here, they just didn't cover it. You just see the head right there. It's not too bad, but it is there and it is noticeable. So that is something I don't like.
That's dumb.
But when you have it here, you got some gray pieces that show up. You blue that and yellow paint, red and silver stripe, the yellow there. Looks pretty good. Oh, one thing I didn't mention, can mention it here. This has a pin through it. Looks like you could open it, but you can't. So maybe, I think at one time, part of the design was that you could open all these because, that shrapnel's the same way. The gun can fit in one of two 5mm ports right there. That's how he is in insect mode. And for comparison, that's how he looks next to the original Generation 1. I do wish that these had wheels like this. That would be nice. You can kind of see how these two look together. Yeah, as I stated, the back is not so bad. It actually really, really fits. Makes a lot of sense, even though that this is definitely Shrapnel's legs. It actually really works with the overall design of this version. Here he is next to the previous Legends versions we got. So you get an idea of just how these two look. I do like the legs on this little one. But overall, this one's definitely G1. Very, very G1. Kind of a different beast on these things. And we'll go ahead and bring back in the vintage one. See how those three look together. Not a little bad evolution there. I guess it would be this way. But yeah, pretty awesome. Glad we finally have him. Let's get the final thoughts. So, in conclusion, he is a pretty good version of this character. I'm glad we got him in this scale. Coloring is a little weird on him, like the upper thighs. I don't know why they did that in black. Doesn't make sense to me. But otherwise, I think it's good. I'm glad they painted this silver. And overall, it's a really solid little figure. And if you have the other two, he's kind of a must get. So yeah, what are you doing still sitting here? Go out, go find him. He's cool. Anyway, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next review.